Okay. Uh, a very warm good morning, all of you. Today I'm going to start with our the operation, the power supply. So as we know that power supply may be of two types. One is balanced power supply, and one other thing is the unbalanced power supply. So what happens to our system? What happens to our drives when we are supplying with the unbalanced voltage sources? Unbalanced. So unbalanced is nothing but where there is no phase difference between the 120-degree between the RY, RB, RYB, or RB. So that's what we can say that it's a unbalanced source. So the unbalanced sources are there are about two types. One more. First thing is the voltage sources, and another thing is the current sources. So today I am going to discuss with the operation with unbalanced source voltages and single phasing. So single phasing is nothing but, as we know that there are three phases. So in that two phases may be disconnected. So we can supply the power only with the single phase. So what happens to our system when we are applying through our single phasing? And we know that supply voltage may be sometimes unbalanced because of n number of reasons are there. So there may be a faults, there may be a short circuits between the points, or there may be a open circuit between the points. So there are a number of reasons are there. So when we are going to supply the voltage with the unbalanced, so which affects the performance of the motor. So when we are going to supply the when we are going to supply the unbalanced supply to the motor, the performance of the motor may be differs. The performance based upon the it may be efficiency, or it may be the speed, or it may be the frequency at which it is rotating, and the speed. So these are the performances. So the performance may be differentiated when we are supplied with the unbalanced sources. So here the unbalanced, the terminal voltage. So what happens here? The terminal voltage may be unbalanced intentionally. Sometimes what happens in the previous era, they were using unbalanced supply as a speed control of the motor. Unbalanced supply is the speed control of the motor. So for that purpose, intentionally they were making a unbalance in the terminal voltage of the supply. The terminal voltage of the supply was intentionally they were doing the imbalance in order to control the speed of the motor. So the unbalance of the supply is the older methods. So it is highly uneconomical. So for that purpose, in today's technology, we are not following the speed control of motor using unbalanced supply and the three-phase voltages. So now we can consider the three-phase voltages. The three-phase voltages VA, VB, VC. Let's consider the three-phase voltages VA, VB, VC, which are of unbalanced in condition. And so these unbalanced voltages with the phase balanced supply, that is VP, VN, V0. That is positive sequence of the voltage, negative sequence of the voltage, and zero sequence of the voltage. So these are the symmetrical component. So we are going to compare the symmetrical component with our unbalanced voltages by using symmetrical component relations. So we know that since from our lower semesters, phase voltage Vp is equals to 1/3 of Va plus alpha Vb plus alpha square Vc. Negative sequence voltage will be given by Va plus alpha square Vb plus alpha Vc by 3, and zero sequence voltage, that is the common voltage that we are using now. So that is a Va plus Vb plus Vc divided by 3. So these are the phase sequence of phase sequence voltages, that is positive sequence voltage, negative sequence voltage, and zero sequence voltage. So we are going to deal with these sequence voltages for our unbalancing the supply. So in order to get the performance analysis by using unbalanced supply voltages, we are using the sequence voltages. So here we know that alpha is equals to e raised to j120, e raised to j120. So which is approximately is equals to cos 120 plus j sin 120, cos 120 plus j sin 120. So here we are going to consider the positive sequence voltage first. So what happens when positive sequence voltage produces? So this positive sequence voltage produces an air gap flux. So this air gap flux, which is always rotates the machine at the synchronous speed. So that is the advantage of positive sequence voltages, which creates the air gap flux. The positive sequence voltages creates the air gap flux, so which revolves our motor, our rotor into synchronous speed. So the synchronous speed which is in the forward direction of the motor. Forward direction is nothing but the rotation of the rotor and the supply of the voltage should be in both are in same direction. Both are in same direction. That is nothing but forward direction. And when the positive sequence voltages have same phase sequence as the original system and the positive sequence system will be having the same sequence. Positive sequence voltage and the original system will be having the same phase sequence. And the next thing is the negative sequence voltage. So what happens when we are supplying with the negative sequence voltages? So here the negative sequence voltage will be opposite to the phase sequence. The positive sequence voltage that I have supplied now, so that will be in negative, that is in opposite direction to that of the negative sequence voltage. So that is the effect on the rotor of the motor. So this motor performance, the motor performance can be calculated for positive sequence voltages and negative sequence voltages separately. The motor performance is calculated for positive sequence voltages and negative sequence voltages separately, and the resulted performance is obtained by the summation. The resulted performance, that is the summation of positive sequence and negative sequence, that is the resultant sequence, that we will discuss mathematically in the next slide. So here what you people need to remember, this positive sequence voltages will be having same phase sequence with the original system, and this positive sequence voltages runs having the direction forward direction, that is these rotates the machine at the synchronous speed, and these will be having the same phase sequence with the as it is of our regular supply, and the negative sequence supply will be off in opposite direction to that of a phase sequence of the supply voltage. So this is about the effect of the sequences on our system, and the motor performance is mainly decided by the summation of positive sequence voltage and negative sequence voltage. So here I am as we already discussed the rotor current, the stator dependent rotor current, and the torque, the performance of the torque in the previous class. So same the same thing is compared with respect to the positive sequence. So that's what I have written here. So previously it was only IR dash. So now I am just adding the phase sequence, positive sequence with that. Similarly, it was a V, only V. Now it is VP. The remaining thing is same. RS plus RR dash by S plus J XS plus XR dash. This gives the positive sequence stator dependent rotor current, IRP dash. Similarly for torque. Here torque also with respect to positive sequence. That is why it is written as TP, and the 3 by omega ms then equals to this equals to 3 by omega ms of Vp square RR dash by S. So in the previous class we were discussed for V square. So instead of V square I am just adding the phase sequence, positive phase sequence here. Vp square RR dash by S. Remaining thing is same. RS plus RR dash by S whole square plus XS plus XR dash whole square. So next thing is the negative phase sequence current. So here what happens, the negative phase sequence current also rotates the machine in the synchronous speed, but in the negative direction. Same thing is written here. The negative sequence voltages which also produces the air gap flux, but in the opposite direction. So positive sequence voltages, negative sequence voltages produces the air gap flux, and these rotates the synchronous machine at rotate the machine at the synchronous speed. But the difference is Positive sequence voltages rotates the motor in the forward direction. That is the same direction with respect to the supply voltage. But the negative phase sequence current rotates the synchronous machine in the reverse direction. So that is the difference. And here I have written Sn. Sn is the slip at the negative phase sequence is equals to minus omega ms minus omega m divided by minus omega ms. Sn is equals to minus omega ms minus omega m divided by minus omega ms. Minus indicates the negative phase sequence current is supplied. Omega ms is the synchronous speed with respect to the motor. Omega m is the normal rotation of the normal speed of the motor, normal speed rotation. But by comparing, but we know that omega m is equals to omega ms of 1 minus s. This equation we derived in the previous first session class. Get here, s is equals to omega ms minus omega m from this equation, from the same equation, from this first equation, that is, just remember s is equals to omega ms minus omega m by omega ms. So here the omega m is taken common, so then equals to omega ms of 1 minus s. So I am just substituting this omega m in the above equation. Just look at here, the minus omega ms minus of omega ms of 1 minus s divided by minus omega ms. The minus minus gets cancels and omega ms is gets cancels here. The only remaining thing is 2 of minus s. 2 of minus s, that equals to 2 minus s. Sn is equals to 2 minus s. Just you substitute omega m in the above equation, that is in the above equation omega m, then you get 2 minus s. This is the important formula for your competitive exam purpose also, and your as well as in your examination while solving the problem, and also in your competitive exams, for if you have taken the GATE exams or in our state PSUs and any competitive exams, this formula is very important. So keep remember this formula, 2 minus s. Sn equals to 2 minus s. And the negative sequence rotor current and the torque. So in the previous we were discussed about the positive sequence. The same thing we are going to discuss for negative sequence. So this is slip formula for negative sequence. For positive slip, the slip for positive sequence is same formula, omega ms minus omega ms by omega m by omega ms. But here we are using a slip for negative sequence compared with the positive sequence Sn s. And similarly for negative sequence rotor current and torque, the only difference is just remove p and replace n. Same remaining, everything is same, but here only we are removing s. We are replacing s by 2 minus s. S by 2 minus s. Look at here. Here s is there for positive sequence. So we are keeping 2 minus s. Because of this, how we got 2 minus s? By this formula. Sn equals to minus omega ms by minus omega by minus omega ms. So IRN dash, that is the stator dependent rotor current for negative sequence, and this is torque for negative sequence. Everything is same. Vn divided by rs plus rs dash by 2 minus s plus j of xs plus xr dash. Only change is we replaced s by s 2 minus s. Here also rs plus rr dash by 2 minus s xs plus xr dash whole square. Here also we are just replacing for in order to understand this positive sequence, negative sequence, and the resultant unbalanced supply, you should know the IR dash and T formula. IR dash and T formula that we derived in the previous class. That we derived here. T formula, the torque formula, and current formula that we derived here. We are using the same formulas here. Same formulas here. And here the torque is negative sign because for the negative sequence voltages in the synchronous speed is minus omega ms. Why we got negative here? This is also important. Why we got negative here? Because at negative sequence the omega ms is negative. The omega ms is negative. That's why we got negative here. And the next thing is the RMS rotor current. The RMS rotor current. RMS is the nothing but root mean square. So we know that as I told that the resultant current is the summation of positive sequence current and negative sequence current. The summation is given by the RMS value. That is IR dash is equals to IRP dash whole square plus IRN dash whole square. The IRP dash whole square, IRP dash and IRN dash that we got here. That IRP dash and IRN dash, just take the summation and square root. Then that will give IR dash formula. And the T here, T is also a summation of TP plus TN. P plus TN. Then T is equals to summation of positive sequence torque and the negative sequence torque. Just substitute here. Positive sequence torque will be having only S. The negative sequence will be having 2 minus S. So this is your analysis. The analysis is nothing but we have to derive the speed torque characteristics. For understanding the speed torque characteristics, we derived torque equation. Torque equation for unbalanced supply voltages. Unbalanced supply voltages 3 by omega ms of Vp square RR dash by S. Everything remains same plus minus. Here minus is because of the negative sequence minus omega ms. Negative sequence voltage speed. In the negative sequence, the rotation of the rotor will be in opposite direction. That's why we have chosen negative minus here. In the minus omega ms. That's Vns square RR dash by of 2 minus S. Only thing is we are replacing S with respect to 2 minus S. Everything remains same. And the next thing is positive sequence, negative sequence and the resultant speed torque characteristics. We have positive sequence, negative sequence and the resultant for speed torque characteristics. So how it differs, we can observe here. The single phasing. One more thing I have told that single phasing. Single phasing is also kind of a unbalancing of the system. Single phasing is also kind of a unbalancing in the system which is of extreme cases. Is of a unbalancing condition with extreme cases. So here when Vp is equals to Vn, that is positive phase sequence voltage is equals to negative sequence voltages only at zero speed. Zero speed is nothing but when the motor is not still is in a standstill condition. When the motor is not yet started to rotate. So at that time what happens? At zero speed Vp is equals to Vn. This is that point. People can observe this point. So when at standstill, that is at zero speed, Vp is equals to Vn and S is equals to Sn. S is equals to Sn. Then automatically the starting torque is 0. The starting torque is 0. So this is the main point that we have observed here. That is in standstill condition. That is when Vp is equals to Vn. When Vp is equals to Vn, the S is equals to Sn. And torque is 0 at when the rotor is at standstill condition. I hope you people got this point. The next thing is the interaction between the positive sequence voltages and the negative sequence voltages. The interaction between the positive sequence air gap flux The positive sequence air gap flux will be created when we are going to supply the positive sequence voltages, and the same time the direction of the rotor and the direction of the supply will be in forward direction. So when these two are in forward direction, the air gap flux will be created, and the positive sequence currents produces positive sequence torque. So the interaction between the positive sequence air gap flux wave and the positive sequence rotor currents, positive sequence flux waves and the positive sequence rotor currents combinedly by interacting produces the positive sequence torque, that is TP. So from this point, you people got the conclusion that how the TP is produced. The TP is produced, that is the phase positive sequence torque is produced by the interaction between positive sequence air gap flux and the positive sequence rotor current. And the same thing what happens when the interaction between positive sequence voltage wave and the negative sequence voltage currents. Just listen carefully. The words looks similar, but there is a slight changes. In the first case, positive sequence air gap flux and positive sequence rotor currents. But here, positive sequence flux waves, that is air gap flux waves, and negative sequence rotor currents. These are one side, and another side, the negative sequence flux wave and positive sequence rotor currents. Positive sequence flux wave, negative sequence rotor current, negative sequence flux wave, positive sequence rotor currents produces TN, that is negative torque. Here in the previous former case, what we understood, here only the positive sequence air gap flux and positive sequence rotor current is enough, but here we need the combination in order to produce the negative torque. And these are the torque that we got now. These are pulsating in nature. Pulsating. So I hope you people know what is meant by pulsating. Pulsating is nothing but the output of your rectifiers. The pulsating. This is called pulsating. I hope you people know the definition of rectifier. Rectifier are the devices, the electronic converters, which converts the AC signals into pulsating DC signals. You should not tell only AC to DC. You should tell AC to pulsating DC. The DC that we get from the rectifier is in terms of what is in pulsating. We get the pure DC only within choppers. So the choppers converts these pulsating DC into pure DC. Pulsating DC into pure DC. That is the working of our choppers. So here the rectifiers converts the AC signals into pulsating DC. So same that the resultant torques, the torques that we are obtained here are in pulsating in nature. So as usually we don't have average value for DC signals. We don't have average value for DC signals. So same like that, we don't have average values for pulsating values. So that's why I have written 0 average values. And these unbalanced positive sequence and negative sequences produces vibrations in our circuit. So while explaining in the theory, in the introduction towards the unbalanced supply, I have mentioned that these affects the performance of the motor. The performance of the motor are nothing but the efficiency or the speed, rotation of the speed. So the rotation of the speed or the efficiency will be affected mainly by the vibration of the motors. That is here, I have written here, the vibration of the motor. So these vibrations reduces the efficiency as well as reduces the lifespan of the motor. Lifespan of the motor. So for that purpose, we have to avoid unbalanced supply voltages. So if you, in order to avoid unbalanced supply voltages, we have phase sequencers, phase differentiators. So that's not the topic here. So we are just analyzing what happens to our circuit when we are supplying with the unbalanced supply. So you people can observe the graph here. Observe the graph. Look at here. This speed torque characteristics. This speed torque characteristic is given for positive sequence, negative sequence, and resultant sequence supply. Resultant sequence of supply. Okay. Here, this dotted lines gives the negative sequence. If you draw the draw the speed characteristics for negative sequence of supply, then you will get only this dotted lines. And when you draw for the positive sequence, that is when the motor is rotating at the positive sequence of supply, you got this characteristics. You got this characteristics, this dotted characteristics. So if you combine these two things, the positive sequence and the negative sequence, you will get the resultant sequence. The resultant sequence. Resultant is nothing but net. So similarly, same for single phasing. The effect will be same, whether maybe it is single phasing or unbalanced supply of phase supply of voltages that you are supplying into a rotor of the motor. The resultant will be same. The effect will be same. The effect is imbalance in the supply of the voltage. So same thing, this is for unbalanced stator voltages and this is for single phasing. The dotted lines gives the negative sequence and this broken dotted lines gives the positive sequence. If you combine these two, you will get the net. You will get the net. That is, at the starting, both the voltage, both the positive sequence, negative sequence will be when the speed of the is 0, speed of the motor is 0, the torque is also 0, and same time at omega ms, that is at synchronous speed, that is S is equal to Sn, and the omega m is equals to omega ms, the torque is 0. That conclusion you people can observe here. At omega m is equal to omega ms, torque is 0. The same thing that I have written here. Torque is 0. So this is about unbalancing supply of voltages and single phasing. I hope you people understood the concepts. And equation 4 and 5. Equation 4 and 5. These are the two equations. Equation 4 and 5. That is the negative sequence of torque and the resultant current. These two equations shows that when the torque is reduced, the losses are increases. When the torque is reduced, the losses are increases, and this unbalanced operation substantially reduces the motor torque. And this reduces the motor torque operation and capability and efficiency. So what you people understood from this line, that when the torque is reduced, the losses increases and unbalanced operation substantially reduces. So when we are at the negative sequence of voltages, the torque is automatically going to decrease, and this decrease in torque increases the losses. So we should balance the torque always. If the torque is keep on increases, the losses will decreases. So if the torque is goes on decreases, the loss is automatically increases, and this is makes into the unbalance in the operation of the supply, and this unbalances reduces the motor torque, and this reduces the motor torque and also efficiency. So that's why the main conclusion of this supplying of unbalanced stator voltage is, it's not advisable to run the motor when unbalanced voltage is more than 5%. When the motor unbalanced, when the supply voltage is, the unbalance in voltage is more than 5%, we should not give supply to our motor. And also single phase. Because for the same reason, the motor is disconnected from the source whenever single phasing is there. So the single phasing is normally accomplished for our light load conditions. So for that purpose, we should avoid unbalanced supply voltage and single phasing. So this is about the supplying of unbalanced stator voltages and single phasing. So the next thing we will discuss about. So what happens? So what happens to our system when we are going to supply with the unbalanced rotor impedances? Unbalanced rotor impedances. So unbalanced rotor impedance that we get from unbalanced supply voltages. So till now we studied the unbalanced supply voltage. When we are going to supply the unbalanced supply voltage, unbalanced stator voltages to our rotor of the motor, then automatically the rotor will be imbalances. The resistance, the impedance resistance plus the reactance combination is going to imbalance. So these rotor impedance, the unbalanced rotor impedance, how it affects to the rotor of the machine. That is, if you are going to supply the unbalanced supply, this automatically unbalances the rotor impedances. So these unbalanced rotor impedances, how it normally affects to the speed torque characteristics. That is, the unbalanced rotor impedance causes the unbalance in rotor currents. So when we are going to supply this unbalanced voltage into other rotor, here they produces unbalanced currents. And these unbalanced rotor currents are divided into two types. One is positive sequence components and negative sequence components. That we studied in the previous slides. And this positive sequence rotor currents produces the driving torque. That is, which produces the torque at the rotation of the direction of the rotation of the supply. That is in a forward direction. And with the balanced rotor resistance. This positive sequence rotor currents produces balanced rotor resistance. And similarly, the negative sequence components produces the rotating field with in a rotor speed but in negative direction. That is what we studied in the previous slide. One second. This negative sequence components produces rotating field, but the positive sequence components produces driving torques. And this interaction between the positive sequence components and negative sequence currents produces the torque. The torque will be mainly produced only when the interaction takes place between positive sequence components and the negative sequence components. And here, and the positive interaction between the positive sequence components and this negative sequence components produces the rotor field. Rotor field. This produces the rotor field. This produces a torque. So that torque, which is acting. So when the slip is lies between 0 to 0.5. So when the slip is lies between 0 to 0.5, this torque acts which torque? The torque which is produced from the interaction between the positive sequence and the negative sequence currents. This positive sequence, the negative sequence components produces a torque. So when this torque, that is when the slip is lies between 0 to 0.5. I'm going to consider two cases here. The one is at the slip equals to 0.5 and the slip lies between 0 to 0.5. So here at this condition, the torque which we produced from the above case makes the differences between positive and negative sequence torques. Positive and negative sequence torques. So that's the characteristics that I have drawn here. This is the negative sequence torque. This is the positive sequence torque. So these torques produces a large dip in the torque at half of the synchronous speed. So this is the speed characteristics, and at half of the speed characteristics, that is at this point, you people can observe the large dip. This is the large dip. The large dip. This is the point. People can observe at the half of the synchronous speed. And at S is equals to 0.5. The S is equals to 0.5. This is the second case. At S is equals to 0.5. The torque developed by the machine will be 0. The torque developed by the machine will be 0, and the motor may not be accelerated beyond this point in starting. So at starting, at S equals to 0.5, you can't observe the S here. You have to the S at 0.5. The motor is not accelerated because the torque is developed by the machine will be 0. The torque developed by the machine will be 0. So the same thing when the interaction between the positive sequence and negative sequence components combined produces the pulsating torques. So I explained in the previous slide the pulsating torques and the zero average values. And the when machine operates with the single phasing stator, that is at the single phasing condition. Single phasing condition is nothing but if it is in two phase, one phase may be removed, and if it is three phase, two phase may be removed. That is called as single phasing. Here the rotor voltage appears across the open phases. So when single phasing occurs, the single phase condition occurs, the rotor voltage appears across the open phases, and these voltages will be of higher values. These voltages will be of higher values. So this is all about when we are going to supply the unbalanced voltages and the single phasing into our rotor of the machine. So in the previous slides we studied what happens to our motor when we are going to supply the unbalanced phase supplies. Unbalanced is nothing but VA, VB, VC. These are the unbalanced for different phase sequence conditions. We derived the equations for positive sequence, negative sequence. We derived for equations for the resultant, and also for the torque. Positive sequence torque, negative sequence torque, the resultant torque. And what happens when we are going to supply the unbalanced stator voltages and single phasing, and how it affects to our speed torque characteristics. So that we studied. And the same thing is what happens to our machine when we are going with how this unbalanced supply affects to our rotor impedances. So the rotor impedance will be unbalanced when we are going to supply with the unbalanced sequence components. So when we are going to supply the unbalanced sequence components to our system, this produces the unbalanced rotor currents. So these unbalanced rotor currents produces the torques. The unbalanced rotor currents produces the torques and the speed. So this is how the torques and the speed characteristics looks. So the main thing that we should observe here is the large dip in the machine. The large dip in the characteristics occurs when omega m is equals to omega ms. That is half of the speed, half of the slip. So that's what we studied today. I hope I think this enough for plus if you felt any difficulty in understanding, just go through the notes once. I will upload the notes. Just go through the notes. No one is able to understand at the first interaction. The first interaction you may not get, so that's why go to the class once